2000 vocabulary words, set 14. Nonchalance. Indifference. A lack of concern. Composure, casualness. Nonchalant. Coolly unconcerned, indifferent, or unexcited, relaxed, calm, and not worried about anything, not displaying anxiety, interest, or enthusiasm. Nondescript. Lacking any characteristic or quality which marks something as different or individual. Very ordinary. Dull, drab, plain. Nonentity. Something that doesn't exist. Something imaginary. Someone or something that is not important. Nonetheless. Nevertheless. However. Norm. A rule or standard. A pattern or something that is expected. A model. Nostalgia. Homesickness, a longing for one's home or hometown. A feeling of sadness and pleasure when thinking about events or things from the past. Sentimentality. Notion. An idea, belief or opinion about something. Notoriety. Infamy, disrepute. Fame that is received for negative reasons or actions. Notwithstanding. In spite of. Nevertheless. Although. Novel. New. Different from anything that has previously existed. Surprisingly new or unusual. Novice. A person who is new and not experienced in a job or situation. Noxious. Detrimental to living beings. Something that is dangerous for one's physical health. Nuance. A small variation in meaning, tone or feeling. Nuclear. Related to or employing nuclear weapons or energy. Related to the nucleus of an atom. Nullify. To void something, especially a legal agreement or decision. To make something useless or null. Obdurate. Stubbornly refusing to do what other people want. Stubbornly refusing to change your opinions, plans, or the way you do something despite what anyone else says, in a way that does not seem reasonable. Obfuscate. To make something more difficult to understand, often intentionally. To darken or make opaque. To make something obscure or confusing. Objective. Fair and impartial. Unbiased. Based on facts and not affected by feelings. Actual. Oblique. Possessing a slanting or sloping angle or direction, inclined. Not expressing something in a clear or direct manner. Obliterate. To totally destroy. To make something disappear completely. To get rid of, erase or cover completely. Oblivious. Unaware or not conscious about something happening at that moment. Forgetful. Inattentive. obscure, not famous or well known, difficult to see, faint, vague, unnoticeable, mysterious, obsequious, overly attentive or eager to flatter others, excessive obedience or flattery, often in order to gain favors from people of influence. Obsession. A person, object or idea that someone constantly thinks about. The state of being completely obsessed with something. Obsolete. Outdated or old-fashioned. No longer in use. Antiquated. Obstinate. Unreasonably stubborn and unwilling to change one's opinion or attitude. Troublesome to deal with, change or remove. Obstreperous. Noisy and unruly, often in an aggressive way. Resistant to authority, defiant. Obtain. To get. To acquire. To procure. Obtuse. Annoyingly insensitive or slow to understand explanations or situations quickly. Obviate. Anticipate and prevent or remove a need, problem, difficulty, disadvantage, etc., by effective measures so that action to deal with it becomes unnecessary. Obvious. Clear. Easy to see. Apparent. Evident. Occlude. Close, shut, or block, a passage, opening, etc. Occupy. To be inside something. To dwell in. To fill. To keep someone busy. Occur. To take place. To happen. To exist. Odd. Unable to be divided by two. Strange or uncommon. Unexpected. Odious. Something that causes strong dislike or hatred. Repulsive or vile. Officious. Someone who is overly eager to offer their unsolicited opinion, advice or services, overbearing. Offset. To balance or counteract something. To compensate. Ogle. To look at someone fondly or amorously. To stare at something in a way that shows desire. Olfactory. Related to one's sense of smell. Ominous. Threatening or suggestive that something bad is going to occur. Inauspicious. Omnipotent. Possessing infinite power. Having an enormous influence. All-powerful. Omniscient. Possessing unlimited knowledge. Knowing, or seemingly knowing, everything. Onerous. Something difficult to deal with, oppressive or burdensome. Something difficult to endure. Something draining. ongoing, continuing, happening at the present time, in progress. Onus. A burden or a difficult task. An obligation. Responsibility. Opaque. Not letting light pass through, not transparent or translucent. Difficult to understand or explain. Opportunist. Someone willing to take advantage of any opportunity to get ahead, often paying no regard to the possible repercussions. Option. The ability or right to choose. A choice or something that can be chosen. Opulent. Expensive and luxurious. Very wealthy, rich, or affluent. Richly supplied, abundant or plentiful. Oracle. A message or answer from God. A message, order or response communicated by God to the prophets. Orator. An eloquent and skilled public speaker. Ordain. To formally make or declare someone a preacher, priest or other religious leader. To formally declare or order. To establish by law or other rules. Orient. To adapt something. To align something based on a specific point or direction. To direct towards a goal. Orientation. The act of finding or determining one's position. A person or group's interests or beliefs. Training for a job. Ornate. Elaborate or heavily adorned. Marked by complex language and unusual vocabulary. Orthodox. Conventional or acceptable by the general public. Traditional or old-fashioned in one's beliefs. A strict observer of a certain faith. Ossified. Become bone or harden like bone. Become rigid or inflexible in habits, attitudes, opinions, etc. Ossify. Convert or be converted into bone. Become rigid or inflexible in habits, attitudes, opinions, etc. Ostensible. Something apparent or professed to be true. Something conspicuous and open to view. Ostentatious. Pretentious or showy display, as of wealth, knowledge, etc., in an attempt to attract attention, admiration, or envy. Designed to impress. Oust. To eject someone from a place or a role. To force someone out of a position. Outcome. The result or consequence. The effect. Output. Production over a specific period of time. Yield. Energy or power produced by a system or machine. Overall. Comprehensive. All-inclusive. Total. In general. Overlap. A shared area of responsibility or interest. The amount in which two things cover a shared area. The period of time when two different things are occurring. overseas, abroad, in a foreign country. Oversight, an accidental omission or mistake that often brings about problems. Careful vigilance, surveillance. Overt, transparent, done or displayed in public, not hidden, clear and apparent. Overwrought, tired, fatigued, upset, nervous or worried, overly emotional, too ornate or complex. Pacifist, a person who is totally opposed to the use of violence or force. A person opposed to the military who refuses to participate in military activities. Pacify, to ease a tense situation or someone's anger. To cause calm or peace, to come to a previously tense situation. To put an end to violence or conflict. Painstaking, performing or characterized by diligent and careful work, in which much attention is paid to detail. Trying very hard to do something. Palatable, tasty, fit to be consumed by humans, acceptable. Palliate, to lessen the symptoms of an illness. To make something less severe. To make something serious seem less important or negative. Pallid, lacking vitality, liveliness or intensity, dull, extremely pale, to the point that one appears to be unhealthy. Palpable, so strong or so obvious that it can be felt, easily noticed, tangible. Panacea, a cure for any malady. Something that people think will cure any difficulty or problem. Panegyric, a speech or piece of writing in praise of someone or something. Panel, a board, a group of people who work together in order to make decisions, pass judgment or entertain people. Paradigm, something that serves as an example or model. Accepted ideas or practices that are used in order to explain or view a shared reality. Paradox, something that sounds untrue or impossible but might be possible or true. Something that contradicts itself or has opposite qualities. Paragon, someone or something that is perfect and is considered a model to be copied or imitated. The model of perfection or excellence. Paragraph, a portion of a text that centers around one specific idea. Parallel, not intersecting, occurring at the same time, extending in the same direction. Parameter, a boundary that limits a specific action or process. A rule that controls something. Paramount, supreme, more important than any other thing. Parasite, any animal or plant that lives on and feeds on another animal or plant. Parch. To scorch the surface of something through exposure to light or heat. To cause something to become extremely dry. To expose certain food products, grains, corn, etc., to extreme heat in order to roast them. Parched. Very dry, especially because of hot weather and no rain. Make dry, hot, or thirsty. Dry, peas, beans, grain, etc., by exposure to heat without burning, toast or roast slightly. Pariah. A person who is looked down upon or rejected by society, often because they are not trusted or respected. An outcast. Parity. Similarity. The condition or state of being equal. Parochial. Showing interest only in matters that directly affect you, narrow in scope. Related to a parish. Parody. A work of art such as a text or a play which is created to poke fun at or ridicule another work. To poke fun at someone or something. Marry. To skillfully avoid dealing with criticism or answering a tough question. To deflect or ward off an attack. Parsimonious. Cheap, frugal with one's money. Unwilling to spend or give money. Parsimony. Unwillingness to spend money when it is not absolutely necessary. Extreme frugality. Participate. To be involved in something. To take part. Partisan. Strongly prejudiced in favor of something. One-sided or partial. Someone who is devoted to a political party.